Dude. Dude, it looks so sick. Look at it. Hello everyone, Curious Corduroy here, and today we're going to be checking out the State of Play dedicated to my most anticipated game of the year, and that is Ghost of Yotei. Now the presentation is going to be a 20-minute gameplay deep dive, so I'm super excited to see what they show us. I want to learn more about Atsu, our wolf companion who looks super cool, but I also just want to see gameplay. Let's see Atsu out in the world, I want to see the UI, I want to see the world map, I want to see combat. Hopefully that's what they show us. And as usual, the first part of this video will be my reaction to the State of Play, and the second half will be our analysis and breakdown of what we just saw. All right, I'm excited. I love the first Tsushima. I've been waiting for this since I finished Iki Island in that DLC, so I'm excited to see what they got.
Hello everyone, this is Jason Connell and Nate Fox from Sucker Punch Productions. Ghost of Tsushima was an honor to be a part of, and today Nate and I get to share more about our next game, Ghost of Yotei. We'll be sharing how we've crafted the game around exploration while keeping Atsu's tale of vengeance front and center. We'll also talk about ghost combat and how it's evolved.
Yes!
And we'll introduce for the first time some new special modes of play.
Oh, okay.
Let's start things off first by talking about a Japanese folk legend. The Onryo.
Oh, the Onryo. This is cool. I've covered this in past videos. It's like a vengeful female spirit. It's so sick. Give it to me. She looks so cool.
The people of Ezo believe Atsu is an Onryo, a wrathful ghost bent on revenge. And they're half right. Atsu doesn't care if she lives or dies, so long as she can punish the Yotei 6.
Same.
A ruthless gang who slaughtered her family. After 16 years in the south, she's returned home to put their spirits to rest.
It looks ridiculously good. The first one was gorgeous, but this one is somehow improving upon that.
It's warm memories of her family that propel her forward. When Atsu returns to her childhood home,
Sick.
with the push of a button, you can experience those cherished times.
That's cool. Those are some
By
PS5
giving you the
shenanigans.
freedom to explore Atsu's past, the wound of her loss becomes personal. It's that pain that pushes her forward. Hunting down the Yotei 6 is a near impossible task. She'll face 1,000 blades. But the Onryo is relentless, and with each victory, the ghost story around her grows.
That is so cool. The Edge of Japan.
Ghost of Yotei focuses on player freedom more than any game Sucker Punch has ever made. But it's also a game that at its heart is inspired by so many of our favorite wandering samurai films. So let's start off by talking about exploration at the edge of Japan. We all have different playstyles, so we set out to make an open world game that lets you drive your own experiences. Whether that's your curiosity to wander, your thirst for combat, or a deep desire to stay focused on the story. As you explore, there's an underlying clue system that invites you to new adventures in new areas of the game that could be appealing to you. If you interrogate an enemy, choosing to ask about the Oni, you could uncover a landscape scarred by fire with more bold samurai-like enemies to fight and abilities for Atsu to learn. Or if you ask about the Kitsune, might lead you to an area filled with snow and deception, enemies that ambush you, and new ninja-like tactics to study. Atsu draws cards for each clue to keep track of all available adventures. The more you play, the more the game unfolds for you. As she makes progress against the Yotei 6, her legend as the Onryo grows.
It's her.
Yeah.
Bounty will go up, drawing the attention of deadlier foes.
Are you lost?
I'm looking for some old friends. The Yotei 6.
Show her the door.
That's a big dude.
There is a hefty price on Atsu's head. Now, Atsu can also hunt down her own bounties that bring her all around the land. This is a lucrative way to make some money to fuel her vengeance quest.
Dude. Combat looks very similar to the first game, which for me, it's not an issue. More on that later. This just looks so beautiful. Bro Genzo. Okay, I speculated about this. Like, is this just an easier way to traverse? It looks like it is.
Hidden in the world are altars of reflection. Finding one inspires Atsu and unlocks a new ability to help her on the journey ahead. They are fun to find on their own, but for a quicker route, you can always buy a traveler's map from the cartographer. Ghost of Yotei isn't going to rush you through anything. You can choose what motivates you most. But we think the best way to play is to simply pull out your spyglass, find something interesting on the horizon, and enjoy the ride.
So that's cool. You don't even have to rely on the map then if you don't want to. Keep it all in-game. I appreciate options. It's nice. This looks so good. Oh, and now the flowers give you a boost. That is pretty cool. They're really just building off of a lot of the great systems they established in Tsushima. Like, in all the right ways so far. This is super cool.
The lands around Yotei are vast. It's not about checking it all off, it's about engaging in the content.
Oh, it's that new minigame. Bamboo's back. Oh, whoa.
Embrace that curiosity and let the wind guide you on your hunt.
Hey. Are we going to see Atsu's butt? Well, you were gooning.
Ezo is a dangerous
I was studying the blade.
Atsu always wields a weapon. As for which, that's up to you. Will you choose a katana, spear, kasuragama, odachi, or dual swords? Each is uniquely effective against a particular enemy and has their own set of upgrades to discover and master.
So that's going to replace stances. Okay.
Let's see how she uses these weapons in the field.
I like that. I was wondering
Searching
about
for
that.
leads on Lord Saito.
This is our food, from our soil. The soldiers need it more to free you.
Free us? Inokichi steals our crops, while our families starve.
Oh. Ow.
Atsu's no samurai or ninja. No. She's a lone wolf mercenary.
Sick.
Who'll use every advantage, every
Can you throw it?
dirty trick to win a fight.
This is a really cool way to freshen up gameplay. Yeah.
Combat has the feel of a classic samurai movie. Every motion counts. It's about lethal precision. If an enemy swings hard, Atsu can lose her weapon.
Oh no.
If she's quick, she can disarm them.
Sick, dude. This is so cool.
Choose the right weapon for the job. To fight a massive enemy, her huge Odachi blade is best.
Oh, dude, the flip with the blow. Oh my god. That animation. Just flick the blood off and then flipped it behind her. Put it back.
He looks like the one in charge.
Tonight, we feast.
Tonight we dine on turtle soup.
Blades are great, but ranged weapons work too. And Atsu's got an arsenal.
Dude.
Bounty hunter.
Inokichi, the hungry? That's me.
Thrown weapons like kunai, bombs, or even blinding powder can give Atsu an edge. When enemies switch weapons, you'll have to adapt. Dual swords are best against spears.
This is what they established in the Iki Island DLC. Enemies had different weapons. Wasn't just the same old archetype.
No more.
Interrogation. That's
Tell
pretty
me
sick.
what you know about Saito.
Atsu doesn't always fight alone.
The wolf.
She'll meet several allies on her hunt,
Several, okay.
including a mysterious wolf.
Dude. Dude, it looks so sick. Look at it. Oh my god, that is cool. Can we name the wolf?
Atsu can set up camp under the stars of Ezo. But she's not always alone.
A horse.
Hey, friend. Share your fire with the traveling peddler?
What are you selling?
A mask said to be cursed with the unpredictable nature of its previous owner.
Camping under the stars is a great way to rest up, play your shamisen, or cook to ready for a fight ahead. It's also designed to help bring important characters and upgrades straight to you. In fact, in place of the journal menu from Ghost of Tsushima, we've opted for a more character-driven way of managing allies and vendors you meet in Ezo. Over time, Atsu grows to have her own wolf pack. And here, you can keep track of when a sensei might have a weapon skill for you, or when a vendor has something unique to sell.
That's cool.
Managing upgrades, resources, when to buy what, can be a burden in a big open-world game. At campsites, members of your wolf pack can catch up with you, offering upgrades and unique items. This helps ensure you have every opportunity to upgrade and prepare for Atsu's vengeance quest ahead. You don't have to leave where you're exploring, the game comes to you.
They're streamlining it in like all the best ways, I feel. We'll get more into that.
While
Customization.
exploring Ezo, you'll discover all sorts of new armor, charms, and gear.
Ooh, the charms.
For building up Atsu around your chosen playstyle. Are you stealth, ranged, or melee focused?
Sick.
Find and combine the pieces that are just right for you. And of course, customize the look of your armor and weapons to make sure that your version of Atsu looks and fights just the way you want.
I love that. Fashion is important in these games. Oh, that dude, the ninja one. Oh, that's sick. Holy crap. Music, okay. I really like the music in the first
The
one.
score of Ghost of Yotei is incredibly special to us. Our amazing composer, Toma Otoa, has created a mashup of Eastern instrumentation with Western flavors, brought to life through an exciting collaboration of many talented artists.
You definitely hear that in the first trailer. There's almost like Western cowboy vibes in some of the music.
If If you like what you heard, we're releasing 2 tracks featured in today's State of Play on your favorite streaming service immediately after the show.
Sick. I don't know what that instrument is, but it's cool. Especially with the way he was picking at the strings. Special modes.
The digital photography community for Ghost of Tsushima is incredible. We're happy to have photo mode back in Ghost of Yotei and look forward to seeing photos from
bears
across Izzo.
Do we get a bear companion? Choose the bear over the man every time.
We want playing through Ghost of Yotei to feel like stepping inside of your favorite classic samurai films. So, from the beginning of the game, we're happy to offer a full Japanese voice track with full lip sync that you can play with subtitles.
I think in Tsushima the lip syncing wasn't synced up to the Japanese text or voiceover, if I remember correctly. I do the English dub, but the second playthrough, I'll go Japón, Japonés.
覚えておけ。圧だ。
Do it, lady.
To take the feeling of stepping into a classic samurai cinema experience one step further, we are honored to once again partner with acclaimed director Akira Kurosawa's estate for Kurosawa Mode, which emulates his classic black and white films.
This is cool. I didn't use it in Tsushima because the world is so beautiful and so colorful already that I didn't want to miss out on that. It's such a vibrant world, but this is cool for the people that really want it. Like, you want it to be like a samurai film, black and white, Japanese audio, go for it.
For Ghosts of Yotei, we wanted to celebrate 2 other influential directors who have had an impact on the genre as a whole.
Oh, there's the other weapons you can pick up.
We've partnered with Takeshi Miike, director of 13 Assassins, for a mode that puts the camera closer during combat for a more intense, raw experience along with increased mud and blood splatter.
I like it.
And lastly, we've partnered with the director of Samurai Champloo, Shinichiro Watanabe. We turned this mode on to listen to some original lo-fi tracks directed by Watanabe himself.
Lo-fi Yotei? Okay. That is sick. I use a lot of lo-fi on my channel. If I can somehow use this music without getting copyright struck, I'm gonna be using it like crazy. That is cool. That's like they made that for me. Lo-fi Yotei is sick. That is super cool.
There's so many ways to make your Ghost of Yotei playthrough your own. But no matter how you play, here's one way to experience Ghost of Yotei that is sure to be special.
This is a new controller. Or is it a custom PS5? Oh, it's a... Oh, wow. That is... I like that controller. More? It's a regular PS5. Okay. Those controllers are nice. Oh, man. I need a new one, just like as a backup.
Today, you've got a glimpse into Atsu's hunt for the Yotei 6. Forge your own path while discovering the secrets of Ezo. To survive, you'll need to master a variety of weapons, using lethal precision to overcome the odds and take revenge as the Onryo. Ghost of Yotei comes out on October 2nd. Thank you so much for watching.
This looks so good. This could be my game of the year. I know a lot of people, for them, it's going to be Clair Obscur. But this, like, I've been waiting years for this follow-up. It looks so good. Oh, boy. And that controller. music. I get Last of Us vibes with this track in particular. PlayStation. Okay. Sick. Let's go back. All right, so I can already tell, for me personally, this is like a Final Fantasy VII Remake to Rebirth situation where I played Remake and I loved it. I thought it was incredible, especially the systems, the gameplay systems. But then you get to Rebirth, and Rebirth makes Remake look like a beta of what they wanted to do. They built off of all of the incredible stuff they established in Remake, really solidified that foundation, added so many cool new features for combat especially. This is reminding me of that. So essentially this is like a more polished, deeper version of Ghost of Tsushima in terms of all of its mechanics. And I can already see that's going to be a problem for some people, because I know there are people out there who they play these games and they really want the sequels to be really different in terms of their mechanics, story, exploration, what have you. So for some people, they might see this and go, oh, it's just more of the same. It's like a natural evolution of what came before, much like God of War 2018 leading into God of War Ragnarok. For me, that's not an issue. I loved Ghost of Tsushima. I played the crap out of it. To this day, I still randomly fire up my PS5 and jump back into that world and just explore because it is so much fun. I love the combat. I love the exploration, riding my horse, just being in that environment and being at peace. It's very calming, especially with all the crap going on in our world today. Just to have an escape like that, I think is super cool. This is sick. The fact that you can go to different areas that are important to Atsu and flashback in time to when she was younger, that's some PS5 shenanigans right there. I don't think you could do that on PS4 because it looks like it's changing the environment around you. I don't know if it's changing the whole world, but just what you're visualizing in front of you seems to be affected by that change. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's a really great way to learn more about Atsu and get attached to her character and her story instead of just being told something or just watching a cutscene. You can now go back and relive it as child Atsu, which I think is pretty cool. In terms of what they're doing with the world building, it seems like they're doing a really great job of expanding on how you interact with the world. The Edge of Japan, for example. And specifically, like, you can interrogate enemies now. That's really cool. In Tsushima, Jin might say something to an enemy and then he might kill them, and then something would pop up on the map that you would want to go investigate. But now it's like, okay, you've got a guy on his knees. What do you do? That sounded wrong. Do you interrogate him? Which member of the Yotei 6 are you going to go after? So allowing players the freedom to go after who they want, when they want, how they want, again, really expands upon the first game. It's super cool to give player freedom like that. Again, I'm looking at Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, which is going to expand upon player freedom, but also like the world map, very reminiscent of Tsushima, keeping track of all of these cards of who you're going to go after. The fact that as Atsu's legend rises, it's not just a cosmetic thing. The more she travels around Japan, the more people are going to recognize her now, and it's going to cause issues. People are going to kick her out of bars. They're going to want to hunt her down. There's going to be the bounty on her head. And in the first game, it was like, oh yeah, you're doing some cool stuff. Jin is building the legend of the ghost for himself, but it was really just kind of that. There wasn't really too many implications on the gameplay and the world building in the first game. But in this one, it's like, no, like, you build your legend, it's actually going to affect the world that you're currently in. And getting, these boards, again, kind of reminds me of most open world games, Rebirth in particular. There was the board where you can go and find your side quests and bounties, but this is a pretty cool way that I appreciate to keep track of who you're going after. Again, combat looks very much similar to how it did in the first game, which I think that's coming up a little bit. But to keep track of these bounties like that, I appreciate it. Sometimes when I play games, I tend to forget some stuff or I lose track of something. So it's a nice way to kind of give the player the ability to track that stuff if they want. And it also looks like, again, with traversal, they're going to give you some more options with how you actually get around this world. Sliding down these big mountains, jumping on using your hook, instead of climbing down the shrine or just pressing R2 and then it teleports you to the beginning of the shrine. This is cool. Again, it's really more about options and interactivity, allowing the player to really kind of explore and interact with as much of the world as they possibly can. And now there's the altars, much like you had in the first game. Now this part right here, again, I'm hoping that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 kind of has a similar system where, sure, you have the map, you can track stuff on there, you can go to these bulletin boards, but allowing the player to be like, you know what, I don't want to use the map. I want to use my binoculars, and I'm going to find something in the distance, and I'm going to go there, discover what's there, and just have fun. That's just player freedom done right. And even this, something as simple as, okay, those flowers aren't just there to look pretty. If you go into those flowers, they're going to boost the speed of your horse. Even just the tiniest things, I think is super cool. And it makes a difference with how you, again, interact with the world and your enjoyment of the gameplay overall. There's that mini game. I forget the name of the mini game. There's the bamboo. There's the hot springs are back. Atsu's gonna get in the hot springs. That's gonna be great. I saw Jin's butt a lot in Tsushima because I found every hot spring, so I'm gonna be very familiar with Atsu's butt probably too. It's just such a shame. The fact that I'm gonna have to see that is just, it's so disgusting. I can't believe they would do that. I can't believe you've done this. Now, this right here, I'm super excited by. So in the first Tsushima, you had one weapon. You had your sword. You did have some bow and arrows and some side stuff like kunai, smoke bombs, what have you. But you also had stances, and you had to switch your stances depending on the enemy that you were fighting. So if there was like a shield and sword guy, you needed a specific shield and sword stance to properly fight them. You could beat them with any stance, but certain stances were going to be more effective than others. So for this one, since Atsu is not a samurai, she's not a trained warrior, she's gonna do what she needs to do in a fight. So again, I like when they take story stuff and combine it with gameplay and the personality of the character. So for Atsu, instead of having the different stances, she's now got different weapons that kind of act as different stances. They replace those stances. So certain enemies have certain weaknesses to certain weapons. And you might be thinking, well, it's kind of similar to the stances. Yeah, but also this seems to drastically change up the combat and how you fight. In the first one, the stances were different, but they weren't super deep. They were just varied enough to make it feel fresh and exciting. But now it's like you're just straight up switching weapons. Different move sets, different types of combat depending on the enemy that you're fighting. The fact that you can disarm an enemy is super cool. The fact that you can be disarmed, very scary. But also the fact that enemies, much like in the Iki Island DLC, can also switch up their weapons on the fly, which keeps you on your toes of, okay, I'm using the spear, but now I got to switch to my dual blades, or I got to switch to the regular katana. It's just making, again, it's really kind of expanding and building upon the combat in the first game, which is essentially just like super fancy Simon Says, but it never got old. I always enjoyed it. And I feel like this game is going to be no different. It's just now going to be way more in-depth, which I really much appreciate. And holy crap, I missed that in the first go-around. You just straight up rock-bottomed her. That's nuts. I forget the name of this sword, but it is massive. And then she does a little flick with the blade and then puts it behind her. Boom. Boom. Dude. Sick. So this is actually a really cool, fun way to enhance the combat, make it feel a little different, build upon the systems that were already there, using your binoculars to spy on people. I think this is really great. And again, I know what a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, it's just more of the same. And for some people that's disappointing. But for me, again, I loved the first Tsushima. I love that combat. I never got tired of it. I was excited once Iki Island came out and they freshened that up a little bit. So for me, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, expand upon it. So you're essentially just building upon what they established in the first game. And again, like Final Fantasy VII Remake to Rebirth, it's going to make the first game feel more like a beta version, which is pretty nuts. Also, interrogating people, like we mentioned earlier, it's pretty cool. The wolf. Oh my God. I was so excited by this damn wolf. And yeah, it's going to be our wolf companion. We got our own Torgal. This dude, look at that. Look, he's ready to pounce. He's a good boy. Oh, and then he just goes for the throat. That is so cool. I appreciate that. Under the Stars. This is a super cool mechanic. So in the first Tsushima, and for most open world games, if you wanted to go back and refine your armor or your weapons, you'd have to go to the map and then fast travel, or maybe just travel on foot or by horse to go where you needed to go, upgrade your stuff, get back on track. But now you can set up camp and they come to you, which is nice. So if you want to refine your weapons, cook food, play music, listen to music, right there, that's cool. Again, building upon what was established in the first game, I feel like is the right way to do it. So instead of, fondling through your map and trying to track who had what, the game just tells you. So it still streamlines it, but it also, again, still allows for you to be interactive. And again, with the world building, I think that works great. And it even tells you like, hey, this dude's got something for you. I appreciate that. And then, of course, depending on what, armor set you want to use, what kind of class you want to build, you've got the different armor sets. I'm hoping, I know this takes place 300 years later after the first Tsushima, but I'm hoping that there is some sort of like homage or tribute to Jin from the first game. I know he's dead and gone. His legend has probably been forgotten. But if there's like an armor set or maybe like a shrine that kind of alludes to Jin being there and what he did, I think that would be pretty cool. I'd like to see them pay tribute to that character. He had such a great story. They could expand upon it in future games if they want. They don't have to. They left it pretty open-ended. But it'd be cool to have some sort of nod. The music. The music sounds great. Again, it's a fusion of Japanese and Western. You 100% hear that in the tracks. Again, you get like those Japanese strings, but I also hear like cowboy Western vibes. Like if I were to watch a Western kind of sound, you hear that in this music. And that kind of, I think, reflects Atsu. Again, she's not a samurai. She's not a trained warrior. She's just kind of out there using the skills that she knows, self-trained, and doing what she can. So I think that, again, music really accompanies and fits with the character. I am still curious about the Yotei 6. What are their connections to Atsu and her family? Because they could have easily, if they wanted to, murked her as a kid, but they stab her in the shoulder and they leave her there, probably expecting her to, perish in the fire, but she doesn't. She, grows up and now is on a quest for revenge. So they might not expand on that too much, and they might just wait until the game comes out. So, either way, I'm excited to learn more about that. These different modes here are cool. Being a little bit closer into the action, I like and appreciate. But the Lofi beats. This is so... Okay, so I'm a little mixed on the Lofi beats. I love Lofi music. I use it a lot in my videos. Being able to walk around or ride the horse in this world with some chill, Ghost of Yotei Tsushima Lofi is cool. But one of my favorite things about the first Tsushima is just exploring in silence. The only thing you would hear was the ambiance from the world. You would hear birds, you would hear insects, you would hear horses, you would hear the wind blowing, and occasionally the music would kind of dynamically come in and you would hear this really beautiful, peaceful Japanese music that kind of scored what you were doing. You were on the edge of a cliff just looking out into the ocean, and boom, the music would play. And it was super, super relaxing, and it just kind of purposely fit in really well. So I'm a bit mixed. I think maybe on second playthrough, I'll use the lo-fi music, but on the first playthrough, I just really appreciate being able to go around and just experience the world and hear that ambiance, because it's just so beautiful and relaxing. And again, it really just kind of adds to the experience of being in Yotei now and not Tsushima. So those controllers look sick too. But either way, I'm really, really excited for this. I thought this was a pretty decent gameplay dive. They told you what, a lot of the stuff I was really curious about, mostly for gameplay, using the different weapons instead of stances, building upon exploration, people coming to you at your camp so you don't got to do it yourself. This is so cool, man. All of the different weapons look like they're going to be super fun to use. Onryo's Howl, that's her ghost mode. Pretty cool. But again, I like that it's Onryo, which is a female, vengeful spirit. So she's going to do what Jin did. The way he built up his lore of the ghost, she's now going to do as the Onryo, which I believe translates to the ghost. Someone might correct me on that. But that's pretty cool. So it makes Atsu unique. She's building her legend kind of how Jin does. She's going to go about it a little bit differently, and she's going to adopt a different name. So again, for most people, this is going to be a situation of, it's just more of the same, but better. But I don't really have an issue with that. I feel like if your core mechanics from your first game are solid and sound, and you can build upon that, like God of War 2018 to Ragnarok, I feel like there's probably another game that I'm forgetting that does that very same thing, where it's just not too different with the sequel. Either way, I don't have a big issue with that. I love Tsushima. I enjoyed everything about that game. So to just kind of give me Tsushima 2.0, but better, much deeper, richer, more polished. That's everything I've wanted, essentially. I don't need them to necessarily reinvent the wheel when it comes to this franchise. I think they're making all the right choices and changes for me personally. And this has got me excited. You know, it's coming out in October, right around the corner. So we don't really have to wait too long. So I really enjoyed this deep dive. I don't know if they're going to do another one. They might drop some blogs here and there that we can cover on the channel, but this looks sick. I am super, super excited. Can't wait for Yotei. Can't wait for my wolf buddy. We're going to be murking people. We're going to use different weapons. We're going to enjoy the weather. We're going to see Atsu's butt. It's going to be lovely. With that being said, that is the video. I'm Curious Corduroy. Let me know in the comments down below, did you play the first Ghost of Tsushima? And if so, what are you thinking so far? Are you happy with it kind of being like a 2.0 version of the first game? Were you hoping they would, you know, reinvent the wheel and do something drastically different? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you made it this far, please click that like button. It really does go a long way to support the video. I hate saying it. I hate asking for it. I don't say it in the beginning of my videos anymore because I know people get tired of hearing it, but clicking like, subscribing, leaving a comment, it really does go a long way to support the channel, and I always appreciate it. So with that being said, I'm Curious Corduroy. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.